Are you ready for it? No, seriously, are you ready for it? Here we go. LTV. What does that mean? That stands for lifetime value. And it's one of the most important metrics and numbers in your business, especially if you want to grow your business. So we're going to explore, I'm going to share with you many ways that you can increase your LTV, that is lifetime value. We're going to talk about what you can do when it comes to increase sales, retention, and a lot more. First of all, let's just kind of go through the foundation, I should say, of lifetime value. You can think of lifetime value as the amount of money that your average client spends with you during the lifetime of your relationship with them. Example, let's say that your initial engagement with a client is $10,000 and that's over a 6-week period. Then they do another project with you, and over the course of 18 months, which might be the typical length of your engagement with your current typical client, they spend another $60,000 with you. Okay, so that's just simple math, right? That's $70,000. What you'd want to do is you want to look at all of your clients, how long they stay with you, how much money they've spent with you, and figure out the average. And I'll give you one kind of just advanced, if you will, tactic that I would suggest. And that is, when you're doing this analysis, look for what separates, what contributes to certain clients having significantly higher LTV than others, because that might speak to or show that there's certain service offerings, certain problems you solve, things that you're doing that are working, right? Remember this kind of maxim that success leaves clues. And if you study success and what's working in your business, you'll likely find things that you can do more of that will work more and more for you. So with that all being said, you want to look at not just what is your first engagement or even your second or third engagement. You want to look at the lifetime value of your client, and your goal, one of your goals in your business, and especially if you want to make your business more and more valuable, whether you decide to or plan to sell your business or not, but an important metric is lifetime value, because the greater LTV that you have in your business, the more that you can actually comfortably invest in acquiring clients. If your LTV is $10,000, then you might hesitate to spend $2,000 to acquire that client. But if your LTV is $50,000, then you'd feel much better investing $2,000 to acquire that client, because $48,000, right, is then left over for you. And you have to obviously look at your gross and net profit and all that kind of stuff, but you get the point, right? The higher the value, the more that you can feel comfortable. So let's just say that your average client value is $70,000, using my example before, then you might actually feel comfortable going from spending $1,000 or $2,000 to spending $5,000 to acquire a client, because there's a lot of revenue there. And this is why when you look at much larger established consulting firms, they are actually willing to take somebody, pay for them to move halfway across the world, set up an office, spend 18 months or 24 months establishing deep relationships with potential buyers, and all of that might end up costing them $2 million. They're willing to invest $2 million because they know that just one project could be $5 million or $10 million or $20 million or more for them. They understand the concept of lifetime value, which is why they're able to invest so much more. And so this is why I'm kind of mentioning it's a little bit of a higher, more advanced topic, if you will, but it can be a light bulb moment for you or for people in business, because when you understand that and you view lifetime value, and from an investment perspective, not a cost perspective, if you view your marketing, your cost to acquire a client, again, as an investment, not as a cost, you recognize that as long as those numbers make sense, as long as you know your LTV and you know your cost to acquire a client, you can actually increase what you're willing to spend to acquire a client. And in many cases, that means you're going to be able to acquire more clients or acquire clients more effectively, being able to do more to win their business, and that grows your business. And so as long as the LTV makes sense, that's like an unlock for you. Now, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I'm just excited because I love these kind of concepts. Hopefully you're getting value from this. Hit the like button, hit subscribe. Let me know in the comments below if you find this to be valuable. Get in touch as well. Always love hearing from all you guys. But this is the idea of LTV, right? You want to increase and strengthen your relationship with buyers. You want to find ways to create more value, deliver more value, so that you're able to increase the value of that client. So take client, again, that you do a $50,000 initial engagement for. Over a period of time, you provide additional services, products to them. And now all of a sudden the value of that client is $250,000 LTV. That's high level. Now let's get into more specific ways and things for you to think through when it comes to LTV. So the first is to think about how you can craft and create kind of natural upsell paths. Meaning that when you start with, let's say, delivering an audit, an assessment, some kind of a discovery offer, that might lead to, we're going to give you a report. And the natural next step from the report is that we deliver a workshop. And the natural next step from the workshop is that we deliver a 3-month or a 6-month engagement. And from that, it can go on and on. But those are what I would call natural upsell paths, right? It's a natural opportunity for you to sell more. But when I say sell, I know for some of you, that word is like a bad word in your mind. It's like, why, this Michael's such a capitalist, always trying to sell more. No, when I say sell, to me, it means I'm delivering greater value. Sales is simply a function of delivering and giving people what they want that is valuable for them. And therefore you are selling, you are earning, you're being compensated for the value that you are delivering. It's a win-win. It's a great thing for both parties. So think about what those natural upsell paths could be in your business. You can also look at what are the complementary services or products that you can add on. You can think about developing retainer packages. So if you've just been doing kind of one-off implementations or one-off projects, think about what a retainer might look like, where you can provide ongoing support or maintenance if it's in the software world. And so kind of path, if you will, might look like you do a project, which is a one-time, which then leads to a monthly ongoing retainer. And that might be for, let's say, ongoing coaching. So I'll give you a real life example here. The project that is, call it deep dive review of the sales team and working to make recommendations and assisting the sales team in improving their performance, i.e. making more sales. So you do that and call it a 2-month engagement. Great. But if you now step out, if you're done after 2 months, what is the likelihood that that company and those salespeople will continue to deliver at the level that they're at when you leave at the 2-month mark? Pretty low, right? Over time, it's going to erode. They're going to go back to their old habits. They're going to go back to doing the things that they shouldn't be doing. They're going to forget to do the things that they should be doing. And so the retainer now allows you to stay on and continue coaching them. Maybe you're having monthly calls, weekly calls. Maybe you're reviewing the CRM, you're checking stats, you're looking at the scorecard. All of that is in a retainer type of structure. And the next level, which is even higher than the retainer structure, is what we could call the strategic advisor. And so that's where you may not be doing as much on the day-to-day. Maybe you've helped to put in place a head of sales. And now as a strategic advisor, the head of sales is the one reviewing all that stuff that I just mentioned as part of the retainer. But what you're doing is just talking to the strategic advisor, or they have access to you so they can ask you questions and get feedback from you on an ongoing basis. That is a progression in how to think about increasing lifetime value. Now, the second big thing that I want to talk about is how you can deepen relationships, because the stronger you cultivate and you create relationships with buyers, with your contacts, with clients, the more business you're going to be able to generate. And that's partially just a function of the more touch points that you have, the more opportunities you're going to have for either you to identify value that you can deliver to that client or that person, but also the more touch points you have, the more opportunity that they have by reaching out and engaging with them, right? Having a touch point, the more they're going to themselves think about ways that you can help them. So strategic check-ins, right? Checking in, seeing how they're doing, seeing how things are going. Think of ways you can add value. Send a resource. Back in the day when I was running a consulting business in Japan, one of my mentors over there, his name was Moriya-san, amazing guy. I learned so much from him. He would literally cut out newspaper articles and he would either fax them, but even more commonly, he would go and have meetings with these large Japanese companies all the time. I would go with him very often and we'd just be sitting there having coffee with these executives, and he would take these clippings out and he'd give it to them and talk to them about it. He wasn't saying, buy my stuff, right? He was the managing director of a large advertising agency. He wasn't having to say, buy my stuff, because by him just showing up and showing that he cared and adding value in the relationship, naturally, that would create an opportunity where you can identify problems, or they can identify potential solutions that you can provide. And that then transitions naturally the conversation to how you can support them more. That's what the relationship is all about. More touch points, more value, more conversations, more identifying those problems and potential solutions. You've done that. What else can you do to increase lifetime value? I'll get into what I call value expansion strategies. And there's several different ways to do this. I'll cover a few of them. One is to look at cross-department opportunities. Let's say that you've been running leadership workshops in the sales department. Well, why can't you run those same kind of workshops for marketing or for operations or for legal or any other department, R&D, so on and so forth, inside the organization? Now, if you're working with micro businesses, that doesn't exist. They don't really have departments, but any mid to large size organization has multiple departments. So you can essentially offer the same thing that you've been offering in one department to another department. Then you also have geographic expansion opportunity. And that means you could potentially still offer the exact same thing that you offered in Alabama to somebody in Albania. If they have an office there, get the referral, get the connection made, offer that same thing. Now, all this, of course, is based on you delivering great value and results to your clients, so they want to continue working working with you and they feel comfortable, confident, and excited to make those kinds of referrals and introductions. So that goes without question, but you can provide the same thing to just different people, different departments, different geographic locations. The other thing that you can do is you can provide different products or services to the same person. So we started off in the sales department. As I mentioned, maybe you provided an engagement around improving the performance of the sales team. Well, you could transition next to helping them with coaching on a recurring kind of monthly retainer basis, but you might also be able to help them with their CRM, or you might be able to help them with other aspects, different products, different services to the same people. That's another way to expand lifetime value. And the exercise for you here is just to think about, what are all the areas that my ideal clients need support in? What do they value? What would help them? What would create the outcome that they want? What would help them to achieve their goals? And this is also why it's so important to have conversations with your clients, with buyers regularly, to increase the touch points, because that will help you to identify and really know very clearly what they want and what they need. And then you can think about how to package that up. Now, I'll say one other thing. And so this is maybe the next point that we should come to, which is that increasing lifetime value doesn't always have to be about what you and your own company provides. You might create a referral arrangement with another company that provides a service that you don't. So let's use our sales example. Maybe you create a partnership with, let's say, an assessment company. What they do is they have assessments that salespeople can go through that helps to identify, is this salesperson really well suited for this role? Or what areas are they weak? What areas are they strong? Right? You get the idea. There's all kinds of assessments and tools out there. Well, maybe you partner with one. You're not going to provide the assessment necessarily yourself, although you could, right? You might be the interpreter of the assessment. You're not actually building the assessment. Somebody else has that, but you have a referral arrangement. When this client you have spends $10,000 per year in assessments, which is not that much money for any good sized organization, they could spend way more than that. You might get a piece of it. You might get 20%. And so that doesn't necessarily sound like a lot, but if you have 10 clients and they're all spending $10,000 per year and you get 20% of that, you're going to get $20,000 per year in additional income without having to do anything more. That's increasing the lifetime value of the client. That's just one example. There's many other ways that you can do that. I don't want to make these videos too long. If you guys want longer videos, let me know in the comments below. I feel like I don't want to keep going over and over. There's so much that we can cover in this stuff. This is the kind of thing that we do with our clients in our Clarity Coaching program. If you're interested in actually applying what I'm talking about here to your specific consulting business, if you want help to be able to actually increase the lifetime value for you specifically, then go to consultingsuccess.com/grow or click the link below the video here. Get in touch. We'll hop on a call. We'll talk about your situation. We'll talk about what you can be doing to increase your lifetime value and how we can help you and how we've helped countless other consultants to achieve that next level of success in their business. But let me offer you one more then before we wrap up this video. And if you guys want longer videos, let me know. Maybe happy to explore that, but I want to try and keep this on point. I know you're busy, so I want to get right to it. The other thing that you should do that will help you to increase your lifetime value is to make sure that you are doing regular reviews with your clients. Make sure that you're creating case studies with your clients. Make sure that you are documenting the ROI with your clients. Why? Because all of this will help to reinforce the value that your clients are receiving from your work. Therefore, they're going to want to continue to do more work with you because they can clearly see there's evidence that what you're doing is working. The other reason that's powerful is because, based on what we just talked about in our previous point, when you have data that shows that what you're doing is actually working, it's much easier. They feel more confident to introduce you and to refer you to other people that they know inside of their organization, but also outside of their organization. All of that contributes to growing your business, growing your revenue, and especially when it relates to in the same company, that's how you increase your lifetime value per client. So make sure that you're doing those things. The one other that I'll offer before I end this video is, if you want to increase your lifetime value, and this is something that I typically will only share with clients, but I figure I'm going to give it to you here right now. That is, schedule complimentary, a free workshop, information session, executive briefing, whatever you want to call it, with your clients, where you can show them something new that they don't yet know, where you can talk about something new that is happening in the industry, regulations changing, new technologies, and just make it valuable. And at the end, connect it to how you can help them in regards to that if they're interested. Doing that in many, many situations will lead to your clients going like, wow, that sounds really interesting. I didn't even know about that. Yes, let's actually explore that. That could be valuable for us. Boom. Opportunity to increase your lifetime value significantly. All right, we've covered a lot. There's a lot more to cover, as I mentioned. if you want to explore this and apply this to your specific situation. And again, as I mentioned, if you're ever thinking about selling your business, or if you just want to build a business that is as valuable as possible, or if you just want to increase your profitability and revenue in your business, because you're likely leaving a lot of money on the table, then knowing your lifetime value, right, your LTV, and working on that can make a massive difference. And we're happy to help you to do that. That's what we do with our clients inside the Clarity Coaching Program every single day. Go to consultingsuccess.com/grow or click on the link below this video. And yeah, let me know your thoughts about this video in the comments below.